Loving it.
Loving it.
Loving it.
Can't beat it. Brandon wants to be in it too.
You want to be in it? No.
I don't want to be in it.
What's up, Yins guys? Welcome back to Fishing PA with Ryan Reed. In this episode, I want to talk a little bit more about a recent event that happened in our area. Now, that recent event is the Three Rivers Chapter 16 Muskies Inc. first meeting of the year. And it's not just the first meeting of 2020, but it's also the club's annual lure swap. Now, before we get into the event, I just want to give you a little background on Muskies Inc. You guys know I'm a member of Chapter 16. You guys know I push the club, and there's a lot of good reasons for that. From a muskie standpoint, from a muskie community standpoint, Muskies Inc. is a group of fishermen that really band together across the entire country. And what the organization does is they really fight for the preservation of the muskie. Now, there's really a lot of cool things that the clubs do. The clubs really draw attention to the muskie. You know, there's clubs like up in New York, Chapter 69, that paid for signs to go around the lakes explaining, you know, the muskie, how to hold a muskie, you know, different information and tips for people to make sure they're handling them correctly. Now, the local chapter to me is Chapter 16, again, Three Rivers. Three Rivers works closely with PA Fish and Boat, and we provide money for the Minnow Fund. So the Minnow Fund actually helps feed some of those baby muskies, you know, after they are spawned and they're hatched. Those minnows go to help raise those fish so they can get big enough to stock in PA waters. Now, you guys know a little bit about PA. You know, there's not a tremendous amount of natural reproduction happening for the muskie. So that stocking effort is absolutely critical to the state of Pennsylvania. You know, Muskies Inc. does a lot in general throughout the entire country for the fish and the preservation of the fish. That's the primary reason I'm involved, but I'm learning that Muskies Inc. is really just a band of people that are just so close-knit. It's a group of fishermen that kind of puts their arm around you, sits you down, and really will help you learn and help you grow if you guys want to fish for muskies. Now, a little bit later, we're going to talk about some of the tournaments and some of the events that Muskies Inc. has, and you guys can go out to the page on Facebook or Instagram and check it out. If you want additional information, you can drop me a note, or I can put you in touch with somebody to kind of talk more about the club. But the whole point is, you know, the club is such an awesome thing for somebody like me who wanted to get into the sport of muskie fishing. It's just filled with a number of guys that are just awesome resources for you that'll teach you and help you grow. I can't overstate that enough. So back to the lure swap. I was super excited about the lure swap. I wanted to take some baits out. I want to go out and talk to some guys I haven't had a chance to talk to some guys I haven't seen or talked to in a while, and really just spend the night talking about muskie fishing, with the added bonus of trading and buying some additional baits. Take a look at some of this video I'm playing. You know, there were a tremendous amount of people. This was one of the best turnouts, I think Joel said, probably in the last couple of years. There was a lot of guys there. There was a lot of cool baits that people brought, a lot of cool gear in general, and it was just a really fun time walking around the Sportsman and really just talking to people and checking out equipment. Now, for me, I wasn't really trying to buy up a bunch of baits, but I do like to take a look for a couple of key baits. So for me, I brought a couple of baits that I thought maybe I could trade or sell to try to put towards something else. I actually traded Brian my Boss Shad minnow. I had posted that on social media. I haven't been trolling that thing a whole lot. It's just such a pretty bait, man. It was a Muskie Max special. it was such a cool thing, but I really wanted a bait that I really wanted to throw. I just didn't want to put that thing in the water because it was so beautiful. That's not to say any of these baits aren't beautiful, but I've been looking for some glide baits. I want to really focus on casting this year. So what I traded Brian for was the Fat AZ glide bait. And I think this is called a stinger. But this pattern, it's a perch pattern. Pretty cool looking pattern there. Little orange belly. I'm really into throwing the glide bait. So I've got a lot of the King gliders, the Keystone King gliders that I'm going to throw this year. I might chuck this guy around a little bit, and we'll see if we can't get any fish on him. So I was pretty excited to get a glide bait, especially one of this caliber. So the other thing I always look for is Wileys. Anytime I get a chance to buy a Wiley, I'm going to take it. And again, Jim Burr was there. Jim Burr, again, is a local legend in the area. He started Muddy Creek Fishing Guides back in the day. Jim knows places like Lake Arthur. He's just very well known, very well respected. You know, he does a lot with veterans throughout the year. So a lot of guys know him. And it's just so cool because he always brings buckets of Wileys and you can buy them off of him. So I was really fortunate. I actually found 2 head shakers. I got this guy right here. Super pumped about that pattern. And I got this pattern right there. And it's kind of a darker version of the walleye, so I haven't really seen this color. I don't know if this is new or if it's old, but it's a pretty sweet bait. So I only ended up coming home with 3 additional baits, but again, it's just such a cool thing to spend a night and talk fishing. You know, guys, the other cool thing about the event, you've got guys like Mark King there. You've got guys like Evan Schoss. You got guys like Joel Morrow, guys that have been doing this forever. Again, awesome resources for you to get out there and talk to and learn more about the sport of muskie fishing. Also, Mr. Whiteman was in the house from Angry Monkey Lures. I've talked about Angry Monkey Lures in the past. I love those baits. I probably don't throw them as much as I should because they do catch fish. Actually, one of my biggest bass, just so happened, came on that bait. They've got a really unique shine on the bill, and it's just really, really cool. And it's a really cool bait to troll or even cast because they're super light. So again, you've got these guys that are making these baits locally, and they're just amazing products. And you guys can get out there and just take a look and see them. So it's a really cool thing that these guys came to the lure swap. The other thing with the Muskies Inc. meetings, you guys can actually do raffles to win baits and different prizes. So again, it's just a really cool event with some really awesome players there. I had a chance to talk to Brad Patsy. You know, I've been really wanting to talk to Brad for a while. Brad is like one of the best muskie fishermen in our area. He really focuses on, you know, the rivers and things like that. And this was my opportunity to go up and say hi to him and meet him in person. You know, again, these are guys that I look up to, you know, I'm trying to learn from, and everybody's been super helpful, you know, through social media. Guys at the club are willing to talk to you and teach you. You know, the one thing that I actually talked about at Road Rolls, they gave us an opportunity to get up and just talk about the club very briefly, which, by the way, Garrick, thank you for talking to Tony about that. That was super awesome. You got guys that, you know, they're willing to just help you learn. And Evan Schoss has been such a huge help to me. He's really giving me information and like tips and tricks to do. And I've seen way more fish in the last couple of trips out because of guys like Evan. You know, you got guys like Charlie and again Mark, and they take you fishing. You know, they take you out on their boat and they show you how to troll, they show you how to cast, you know, they show you electronics. It's a really awesome thing, and everybody's super involved, and they really are super helpful for guys like me who just was getting into it and trying to figure it out. So that's why Muskies Inc. means so much to me. You know, Jason, too, another cool thing. One of the last meetings, Jason had asked me, came up to me and he said, "Hey, have you ever read the book Time on the Water?" And I said, "No, I had never heard about it." Well, like a day later, I get a message from him and it's Time on the Water. He actually bought it for me on Amazon so I could read it. You know, these are the types of things that it's just, dude, it's amazing. It's just so cool to be a part of that. So in addition to coming out for a night to really trade and swap and buy gear, you know, lures like these Wileys and like this glider, you know, it's really an opportunity to sit down and just talk to local fishermen and learn and learn more about muskies and the sport of muskie fishing. So, I get so excited about this stuff. I mean, it's just so cool to me that you can do that on a Monday night and I can just come away with so much. It's just awesome. I don't know. I can't even explain it. Really another cool thing, I've been talking to a young guy over YouTube. He watches some of my videos. I've been talking to him back and forth. He's super excited to go to Max for the first time this year. And he had sent me a message before and said, hey, I'm going to be at the lure swap, get a chance to talk. And I was like super pumped about it. I'm like, this is so cool. We've got some young ones here. I'm going to get a chance to talk to Brady. So I actually ran into him. We got a picture together. I was super pumped. I got to talk to him and his dad. Just such a cool thing, man. I was so excited to see, Brady and just how passionate he is as a young kid about the sport of muskie fishing. It was just, dude, it was completely blew my mind. It was just so cool to see that. And, his dad takes him fishing and gets him outside, gets him away from the cell phones and gets him out on fish, man. It is just so cool. And by the way, Brady, if you're watching this, you are a better fisherman than me. I have seen your posts on Instagram, and you catch some absolutely beautiful fish with you and your dad. So I will definitely see you at Muskie Max. So I guess, guys, really what I'm trying to do with this is I'm just trying to share with you my experience with the club. The club, even though I don't make all the meetings, it's just so cool to make these types of events, and you just get so much more out of it than you put in. One other thing I want to say about the lure swap, there was a ton of kids there, just an absolute ton. Kudos to you parents for getting your kids involved, man. It was so cool. Adam, I got a chance to talk to you for a minute or two. I know you had to get your little one home. She had school the next day, but that's an example right there. And I've seen other kids, there was a gentleman I was talking to with his kids, his boys there. They're all involved. They're all involved and they're learning about muskies and fishing. They're getting them out on the water. Man, it's just so cool. I loved every minute of seeing that. All right, guys. Well, I've talked a lot about the club. My experience. The lure swap was awesome. Joel said this was one of the best turnouts we've had in years. There were a ton of guys there. Thank you to Joel, to Joe, to Charlie, to all of the Muskies Inc. leadership for Chapter 16. You guys work extremely hard. You just put countless hours in for the club. You're there late cleaning up. Man, just thank you guys very much for all that you do for the club. You guys are all just class acts and really just put these types of events on for us. And it's just so awesome. So I can't thank all of you guys enough. I know there were a lot of people that were super appreciative. I'm just excited to get involved in some of these tournaments this year. So, and I apologize. I can't find the tournament schedule right now. I looked for it. I am obviously just missing it because it's like super late at night right now and I'm exhausted. However, when I find that, I will put it in the description field of this video so you guys can check the tournaments out. The tournaments are open to the public. There's a fee, but we've got tournaments on Lake Arthur, Pymatuning, the rivers. They even do one up on Chautauqua. It's a really awesome opportunity for you guys to get out there and fish a muskie tournament. Guys, overall, I just can't say enough about the Three Rivers chapter of Muskies Inc. and everything they do. Everything they do for the fish here in PA and everything they do for you as a fisherman. Special thank you to everybody that was involved in the lure swap. Muskies Inc. Just such a cool thing, man. It's just so cool for the winter. Loved being a part of it. So if you guys like this video, hit that like button for me. If you guys like this content overall, please subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. We're going to keep having fun with it. We're going to keep having fun with the channel. We're going to keep pointing out things that have helped me become a better fisherman. That's what this channel is all about for me. It's really about helping you guys learn more as I'm learning. I want to make sure I do that. So it's a great resource in Muskies Inc. Man, I got at least one more video to do tonight. I'm running out of gas. Tired. It's been a long week. But it's been a good week. Road rolls, lure swap, pretty cool stuff. All right, guys. We'll just say tight lines. We will see yins next time.